Alright guys, today I'm going to be giving you my first impressions on the brand new Le Male on board. Get a nice good look at that bottle there. And the classic tin can. Yeah, pretty cool. For those of you who are unaware, you don't want to take a can opener to the top of this, although that is something you could do. Instead, what you do is the bottom of this simply drops out. Trying to do it without flinging it across the room because that can happen as well. And there you have your bottle sitting on this nice little pedestal. Here's a nice look at the bottle. I do like it. It's pretty simplistic, pretty minimal. Just kind of your standard looking Le Male bottle. But you can see the fragrance level inside very easily. And it does have a light blue color to it. It looks darker on camera, but here from my perspective, it is a bit of a lighter color, especially when holding it up to the bright lights. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be smelling this one for the first time live on camera with you guys. And I'm also going to kind of weigh in on if I think it's going to be a good replacement to Popeye. We'll see how it stacks up. And I don't even necessarily mean in terms of smell, but just in terms of the compliment factor, mass appeal, and just the overall hype factor. Because as you guys know, Popeye and Superman, they're the same fragrance, just rebranded. These two were very hot, very popular summer editions. These were making their rounds. A lot of people were including them in lists. A lot of people were just talking about them in general. These Popeye Eau Fresh and Superman Eau Fresh summer editions stirred up a lot of hype. So now that we have a new summer edition, I'm excited to see how this one's going to hold up, and I'm curious to see if this one's going to pick up some traction like its other summer editions did. I'm going to go ahead and get this one on skin, and we'll see how it is. Atomizer Is Fantastic, as you can see there briefly. These atomizers are always pretty solid. So immediately, I'm getting a good amount of like a violet leaf opening, you know, like a ozonic, fresh green violet leaf. Taking a brief look at the note breakdown, there isn't violet leaf in here, but kind of initially right off the first blast there, that's what it reminded me of. What there is geranium. So it could be that geranium green freshness that I'm picking up on, which is lending to trick me into smelling a violet leaf. I might as well go ahead and read off the official note breakdown for you. Up top we have bergamot, the only top note. In the mid we have tonka bean and that geranium. And in the base we have amber. So this is not quite a standard 3 note breakdown like we've been getting with a lot of new releases where they give you one top, one mid, and one base. They're giving us an extra note. So at least that's better than nothing. Or really that's better than 3 notes. Now we have 4 to work with. Of course there are more notes in here. That's just the notes that they want you to focus on. And again, that's been something that has been happening here recently with these new releases. So even though that violet leaf isn't listed, could still be there. But again, it could also be coming from that geranium. I do get a bit of the bergamot in the opening, but it's not as tart or as strong as you may initially expect. The bergamot I do find is mixing with the tonka bean, which is adding a bit of a sweet, powdery, dusty touch. I'm also picking up on a lot of amber. To me, it's kind of, you know, like an ambrox, an amber wood type of smell here. I wouldn't really call this one bubblegummy, but it does have that sweeter summertime type of vibe. It's sweet, it's fresh, it's a bit uplifting, and it is very aromatic. You get a lot of that green minty geranium in here as well, like I mentioned. And for me, it's that geranium tonka bean sweetness is kind of the primary focus here behind this scent. If you look on Fragrantica, one of the main comparisons is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Extreme. And I gotta say, I don't think it smells anything like the Chanel. You know, the Chanel, of course, does have that tonka bean. It's got that aldehydic freshness. And while this one does have tonka bean, and it does have an aldehydic or kind of ozonic freshness in the opening, I would say it is basically, to me, completely different than the Chanel. I just don't pick up on any similarities here. The Chanel is just in a different league. It's got much more of a powdery, creamy smell while still being fresh. You know, you do get that orange. There is no orange here in Le Male on board. Different scents all around. So if you're going into this one expecting Chanel Allure Homme Sport Extreme similar smell, to me, it's not there. Compared to some other Le Male summer editions, I would say this one could be a little bit similar to Le Male in the navy. I believe if I'm thinking of the right one, it does have that violet leaf in there, and that's kind of what I get a similar thing to here as well. So to address the question that a lot of you guys I'm sure are wondering, you know, is this something completely new and different? And I'm sure most of you probably already know the answer to this, but if you were still curious and maybe you had a bit of hope, no, it does not smell completely new and different. In fact, this will remind you of a lot of the modern summer type fragrances that are coming out these days. You know, we do go through trends, we do go through different fads, right? For a while there, you know, we were having Invictus Aqua scents, and you know, we were having aquatic fragrances, and of course Invictus Aqua does have that bubblegum sweetness, but these are going in a bit more of a different way now, where we're getting a bit of a sweetness like that, but also quite a bit of an aromatic touch as well. And a good similarity to compare that to would be Yves Saint Laurent White Eau de Parfum. That one does have that amberwood sweetness, but it also has very much an aromatic tendency with some fruits and some citrus. This kind of has a similar thing going on, not so much in smell, it doesn't smell like White Eau de Parfum, but just in its composition. It's just a sweeter take on a summer fragrance. Not so much salty and marine like Invictus Aqua, just more so sweet and aromatic and a bit fresh and bright, and not really fruity here with this one, more citrusy. So that kind of seems like it's the next big trend here, is these amberwood fragrances for summertime with a hint of sweetness. We're getting more sweetness in summer fragrances now than we were a few years ago. That's just how these trends go. So if you were to smell this 5 years ago, you would probably think that this is a little bit on the sweet side for a summer fragrance. But after you've been checking out a lot of these other new releases and these other new summer fragrances, they're marketed as summer fragrances, and they are a bit sweeter, that's kind of what it's going towards here. A lot of men's fragrances in general are moving to the sweeter side, and that's just how it goes. All these big designer brands are following the trends to get to the mass appeal, and that's what this type of scent does very well. So it's something that may throw you off, having a bit of sweetness in here for a summer fragrance, but it is, in my opinion, a summer edition. It does have that uplifting brightness, and that's just kind of how it is. You know, you get a really nice balance here with this one, from that green mintiness, from that touch of sweetness from the tonka bean, that kind of you know, fuzzy sweetness, and away from the amberwood, ambroxan, amber, whatever you would like to call it here, and then that freshness up top from the bergamot as well, with an overall aromatic tone, kind of similar to the original Le Male, very aromatic. So I'm going to have to test performance on this one, and as I start to wear it here in the warm weather, I will update you guys on that with a full review. One of the things here to think about, and what a lot of people are going to be wondering, and kind of what I touched on in the beginning of the video, do I think that this could potentially be the next big popular summer edition from Jean Paul Gaultier from the Le Male series? And I think potentially yes. This does have that trendy, summery, sweet, sexy, young freshness about it. And this type of thing is the type of thing that could go viral in a sense, or at least kind of viral in the community, similar to what Popeye did right here. Now, this one does have better marketing behind it, no doubt about that. And same with Superman. Both of those had great marketing behind them. This one's just kind of there. It's on board. That's the name, that's the bottle. It doesn't have as much curb appeal as Popeye and Superman did. But I think looking past that, when people start to get their nose on this, once it hits discounters and once it's available here in the United States at retailers, I think this one could have the potential to snowball and turn into something that's popular. Do I think it could get as popular as Popeye and Superman? I would say maybe not. I mean, if it has the right people really backing it, then maybe it could. But I think this is a solid fragrance here from what I'm smelling so far. It is one that I'm going to be wearing this summer. I can just tell initially because it just has that playfulness about it. And I think it could be something that a lot of you guys are going to be interested in as well. Performance is going to be a varying factor in that as well. So we'll have to see how that does. I mean, Popeye and Superman didn't really perform the greatest either, but they still worked great. So who knows what this one's going to do. But I can tell you just by smelling it, you know it's going to be a compliment getter. You know it's going to be very much a mass-pleasing scent. And I can imagine a lot of people are going to enjoy it just for that alone. If you're a fan of aromatic green fragrances, something like that for summertime, and you want a little bit of that sweet modern DNA thrown in, you're probably going to really like Le Male on board. In terms of my expectations here, is it better? Is it worse? Is it about what I expected? I would say it's actually a bit better than I was expecting. I didn't think this was going to be bad. I kind of thought it might be a bit more boring than it is. But I do find that you do get, again, that green facet, that aromatic touch. It's not super, super sweet like some of the other trendy summer fragrances out there. Kind of rides a pretty good line here for me. So yeah, better than I expected. Now, I wouldn't say that you guys should just rush out and buy a bottle and try to find one overseas, or rush out and buy it at retail once it becomes available. This might be one that you want to sit on for a while, wait so you can get it at least on a bit of a discount, and then you can make your decision there. It'll be hitting discounters soon. I mean, you're going to get it and still be able to wear it this summertime. We're in June now. maybe by July, August, you can get this one on discounters. Still plenty of time left in the summer to wear this one. It's going to be up to you. So guys, that's going to do it for me. That's my first impressions on Le Male on board. Not too bad so far. I'm excited to continue testing this one, and let me know if you guys are excited to try this or not. Let me know if you're excited to see a full review, and also let me know, Popeye, Superman, what do you think of this fragrance? Do you think that on board can ever be as good as Popeye and Superman? Great fragrance, and again, they are completely different, but just in terms of the hype here, do you think this is something that will potentially overtake it? If you get your nose on it and smell it, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.